What's up guys, my name's Liam and today we're going to be doing an early impression on the brand new Vaxee E1. This takes inspiration from arguably the greatest ergo shape ever created, the EC2, and in this video I'm going to be comparing it to the competition and trying to help you guys decide whether or not this could possibly be the perfect gaming mouse for you. So let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you know this was sent out to me. However, everything you're going to be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. Included inside the box, it does come with a USB-C cable, and the 4K wireless receiver is included. It does have a rubberized bottom, and it looks similar to the previous 4K receivers, so if you had experience with those, then you know what to expect. This is using the same new design that they featured on the Vaxee XES to bring down the weight of the mouse. They do have a new power button though over here on the left side. You actually have to hold it down for a few seconds to power it on, and then same thing, hold down for a few seconds to power it off. Mine did come out of the box with competitive mode enabled. It was already set to a 4000 hertz polling rate, and it did have the lowest click to bounce setting option enabled, but everything else over the top is pretty familiar for the most part to the other previous Vaxee mice. Still has the fantastic coating on here, one of my favorite coatings of all time. The one thing I do want to say about the build quality on this, however, is even though this has gotten lighter, I'm really impressed with how solid and tanky just the build of this in general feels. I've been dealing with a lot of these really lightweight gaming mice recently, and this one, it definitely does feel a lot more solid than most of those I've been messing with. So showing you guys just with the outset really quick, even though these older Vaxee mice do feel tanky, I was getting some flex here on this side, and you can actually activate the side buttons just by pushing hard enough right down here in this middle portion. So even though this is more lightweight, I don't have that type of an issue at all. As a matter of fact, it feels more solid. Even pushing really hard on here, I'm like not getting any bend at all. So just going all the way around the shell, the fact that this does feel really solid and you don't hardly notice any bending at all. And I've always talked about how Vaxee has some of my favorite tuned click implementation out there on the market. These clicks feel incredibly lightweight, easy to spam. I get just a little minimal amount of play there, nothing too major. When you do press the switch down though, it doesn't make contact with the base of the mouse right there. You do get a little bit left to right there, but nothing that I noticed as I was using it in game. I don't notice any type of switch grinding or anything while I'm doing it, so not any type of a noticeable concern. And the implementation just all around, whether you're front to back, feels really solid, even very lightweight and spammable if you're to do some type of very aggressive claw grip on this and activate from the very rear. So no matter where you click this, truly the clicks on this to me feel fantastic. Nothing really that new on the scroll wheel. It does have that rubberized center ring. You do get these lightly defined steps here that are noticeable. I don't have any issues with them getting stuck in between the steps as I'm using them. And the click on the center scroll here is just a little bit more on the stiffer side. You can kind of spam it there, but it is just a little bit harder to press. When it comes to side buttons, I've always loved these Vaxee side buttons. One thing I do kind of notice about this implementation is that I'm getting just a little bit of play back here from the rear. Nothing too bad though, pretty much perfect and almost no pre-travel or post-travel there in the center. And I do feel like they become a little bit more solid up here towards the front. Same thing with the front side button. If you push it back here towards the rear, you get almost no pre or post-travel, nice solid wall back there. Coming up here though towards the front, you do get just a little bit more play. Nothing too bad, and the way I grip this mouse, I kind of just activate the rear side button from the front and the front side button from the rear. So as I was using this in game, they pretty much do feel perfect to me and spot on. But if you are somebody that does like to rock your side buttons, I'm getting just a little bit of wobble there left and right. I've always been a huge fan of the way that these Vaxee mice feel in hand, especially in recent times. They really do feel about as premium as it gets for my preference. So let's go ahead and drop the click quality sound check. So when it comes to the weight and balance, they really do a fantastic job at just making the overall weight evenly dispersed throughout the mouse. So even though this does sit just a little bit higher at 60.7 grams the whole time that I was using it, since the balance is so great, it does make it feel a little bit lighter to use. When it comes to performance, it has been feeling top tier with this brand new E1. Previously, they had a lowest click to bounce setting of 2 milliseconds. They have been working really closely with the Pixar team to get it as low as possible, and they were able to fine tune it and get it down to as close to 0 milliseconds as possible. And their focus while doing this was to ensure you're getting the most consistent gameplay possible without having to worry about any type of double clicks or anything like that. However, if that does become an issue for you, you do have the ability to adjust the click to bounce setting a little bit higher. I was using this the entire time on the lowest click to bounce setting, and I have not noticed any issues at all with any double clicking yet. Unfortunately, I am unable to bring you guys any click latency numbers. I truly do apologize to you for that. I myself was really curious to see what the numbers would be. And the only reason that is just because I can't currently get this to work with my Xlite system. It's not giving me any type of a reading off of it. So again, I'm sorry about that. If anything were to change in the future, I am working on trying to get my hands on other things out there. I'll definitely make sure to update you guys and let you know. All right, so now let's jump into the shape, which is one of my favorite things about this mouse. As you can see, it just kind of just sucks to my hands there, which is how it is. But coming down here on the bottom left hand corner, it kind of sticks out a little bit more down here on this side. And coming over to the bottom, I don't know what it is about this thing, but just the way that this fits in my hand, almost fits like a glove with the stability of it. It kind of has a narrow backing right here, and the thumb groove kind of comes out a little bit more. I didn't think necessarily that I would like that when I was first taking this out of the box and looking at it, but just the way that it sits with the natural curve and the way that I grip it, it just feels so natural, and you get so much stability back here in my palm. So it just kind of falls naturally on there. It doesn't feel like it's too rounded back here or anything like that. The hump for me, it feels really natural. It doesn't feel like it's too aggressive or sticks up too high or anything like that. So yeah, I've been really liking this a lot. And just to kind of show you what I'm talking about, let's just go ahead and break down the comparisons here. This is a little bit more rounded back here in the rear, where this one just has just a little bit more of a point back there. And then we'll go ahead and take a quick peek at the rear, looking at the curve profile from the top left down to the bottom right. The AX feels just a little bit more wide. You get a little bit more of a narrow feeling, not just in the rear, but also over here towards the middle when comparing both of these. But I really do like the hump profile on both of these when it comes to the top left hand side. I don't feel like the way that this curves down that it feels too aggressive or too rounded for my grip style when it comes to both of these. All right, next up I'm comparing it to the Lamzu Thorn. Same thing with the Lamzu Thorn, a little bit more rounded, get a little bit less support down here. And looking at the curve profile on the bottom, I do feel like the rear of the Thorn is a little bit more wide. And you do kind of notice it sticking out or protruding a little bit more on the side when it comes to the Thorn. Putting these together, the grip width in the middle, not too far apart. The Thorn might just be slightly a little bit more rounded. We will go ahead and look at the rear profile, the curve from the top left down on the side of these though, and taking a look at both of these from the side. Again, on the Thorn, it kind of just has more of a rounded feeling right here, and it does drop off more aggressively. So the bottom here, as I'm holding this in the hand, it does feel a little bit shorter, where again I feel like I get a little bit more stability from the bottom on the E1 over here. All right, lastly, we'll compare it to the Pulsar Xlite V3. I did put this as my favorite Ergo shape of the year last year that came out. And when it comes to the comparison of both of these, the shape of these doesn't really look a whole lot far off from one another. And they both do kind of have that pointier feeling down here at the bottom. Alright guys, so this about wraps things up on the Vaxee E1, and as I've already said many times in this video, loving this shape a lot. Whether you use a pincer, a more aggressive type of a claw grip, I've even been messing around with using this on a fingertip grip, and it feels to seem really natural regardless of what type of grip I've been throwing at it. So if you are an Ergo lover, as I've already stated, not only have I been really enjoying the shape of this, everything about the coding to the click implementation, just the feeling of this mouse does feel fantastic in hands. So if you have any questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.